Let's see, it's a little better. I'm here to do some fight picks for the fights tomorrow night. First and foremost, I want to say the UFC has a new belt that Dana White just announced or showed off yesterday or today in that ESPN interview. Um, Firstly, I want to say I didn't like the idea at first. I don't know. I hate change. Change makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why things can't just stay the way they work. But when I seen the belt, I was like, okay, I guess it's not too bad. It's not hideous looking, so it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought I would really hate it, but let's see. The first fight on the ESPN Plus prelims. So the early prelims will be on ESPN Plus. The regular prelims will be on ESPN, and then the main card on ESPN Plus. Now, the first fight on ESPN Plus is Chance Hencountre versus Kyle Stewart. I don't know much about Chance other than his fight with Bilal Muhammad. I got to see a little bit of him, and Kyle Stewart is 11-1. It said he was 10-1 as an amateur, which is pretty impressive. He's almost 30 years old. Chance is 32 years old. So they're both at the peak of their careers. I'd say this is a hard one because I couldn't find really much on Stewart at all, and all I could find on Chance was his UFC debut against Muhammad, in which he lost. I did get to see a little more of him, and then I got to see a Stewart, but 10-1 as an amateur and 11-1 as a pro. I'll just the hell with it. I'll go with that. I'll go with Kyle Stewart. The next fight, a welterweight matchup between Bilal Muhammad and Jeff Neal. Now, Muhammad is pretty good everywhere, but I wouldn't say he's great anywhere. He can wrestle, he can strike. He's 14-2. 10 of his wins are decisions, which it doesn't say much because a lot of people win mostly decisions. I mean, look at Chael Sonnen, look at John Fitch. Both of those guys ruled their divisions at one point. Jake Shields, another one. Guys that have 20-plus decision wins in less than 35 wins entirely. This is a tough one because Jeff Neal, his last fight against Frank Camacho, I bet against him because I knew who Camacho was. I didn't know who Neal was. When he was coming off the Contender Series, and then fought Camacho and ended him. I think it was a head kick. His striking is slick. It's very, very slick and fun to watch. And he's got some pop to it. And he's quick and he's athletic. And you can tell there's power behind it. You can tell that a lot of the strikes that he throws, it doesn't seem like you would be able to see him coming, which is dangerous, especially for someone that's as athletic as him. I think this is a very, very interesting matchup. Neal came to the UFC off the Contender Series. Bilal Muhammad came after he won the Titan FC welterweight title. It was a fourth-round TKO over Steve Carl, I believe. I think I'll go with Neal. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go with Jeff Neal. The next one is a lightweight fight. Dennis Bermudez is moving up. He's going to fight T. Edwards. I'm pretty sure Edwards' last fight was at featherweight 2. I'm not sure. Against Don Madge. I think that was a featherweight fight. Anyway, that was a really good fight, and he lost by a head kick in the second round. It was a good fight, though. And he's 6-2. All 6 of his wins are knockouts. Dennis Bermudez, he's had quite a rough streak lately. He's 16-9. Lost his last 4 fights, starting out with a knockout to Chan Sung Jung. Then he lost 3 split decisions in a row, the only decisions he's ever lost. Before that, he was 16-6. All 6 losses he'd been finished in. Then his last 3 losses, all split decisions, to Darren Elkins, Rick Glenn, and Andre Feely. All 3 of which he could have won. All 3 of which he could have lost. I mean, well, the Darren Elkins fight, actually, I thought he lost that fight. But the Feely and Glenn fights, they're so close. I gave him the nod in the Glenn fight, the Feely fight. I thought it could go either way. It was so close. He's a D1 wrestler. He's a very, very accomplished D1 wrestler. He's an All-American. In high school, he had 112-23 wrestling record. He's 3-0 on the Ultimate Fighter. All of those wins were finishes. A lot of people probably don't know this. His first one on the Ultimate Fighter, the elimination fight to get into the house, was a TKO over Jimmy Rivera when Jimmy was first starting out his career. Or not first starting out, but, before now. Before we got to know who he was. He fought Dennis Bermudez at featherweight on the Ultimate Fighter, and Dennis Bermudez TKO'd him. For that, I'll take Bermudez. I mean, Edwards only has one fight in the UFC, so it's going to be hard to pick him against a vet that's as skilled as Bermudez. Yeah, he might be 16-9. He may have lost his last 4. That doesn't say much about him, though. I've been watching him since he was on the Ultimate Fighter. He's a very, very good fighter. He's very well-rounded, and I think he's going to pull out the W tomorrow. Next fight, first fight on ESPN is a bantamweight matchup between Mario Batista and Corey Sandhagen. Now, I couldn't find much on Batista other than he's 6-0. He's got 2 knockouts, 3 submissions, and a decision win. Corey Sandhagen's 9-1. He's 2-0 in the UFC. He's got a pair of second-round TKOs. Most recently, to that comeback to Yuri Alcantara, that was very impressive because Yuri was up pretty big. It definitely looked like he was going to get that finish with a couple different submissions. He was cranking, and he couldn't get it, and he ended up getting TKO'd. Sandhagen pulled through. Their amateur records look pretty similar. Just a split decision loss separates them. Mario's 4-0. Corey Sandhagen's 4-1. But I think I'm going to take Sandhagen on this one. For sure. Definitely Corey Sandhagen. He was supposed to fight John Lineker, by the way, but Lineker had to pull out. Next fight, a light heavyweight fight between Alonzo Menfield and Vinicius Alves Morrea. Hope I said that right. Let's see. I don't really know much about either of these guys, honestly. I don't even know if I've ever seen either of them fight. But, oh yeah, they're both off the Contender Series. That's right. Alonzo had the 8-second knockout, 8-second TKO over that one guy, and then Vinicius had a second-round triangle against the guy he fought, and they both got UFC tickets off of that. This is a tough one to pick. I think I'll pick Mansfield. He's 7-0, 6 wins or knockouts. 1 is a submission. Vinicius is 9-1, 1 knockout and 8 submissions. So pretty similar records. It's just the exact opposite. I think I'll go with Alonzo. Got my cheat sheet fight card here, so I don't forget anything. See, the next fight, it's a women's flyweight fight between Joanne Calderwood and Ariane Lipski. Now, Lipski, it said that she's the #1 women's flyweight in Poland, yet she's repping a Brazil flag. And it said that the gym she trains at, I looked it up, that's also a gym in Brazil. So, I don't really know the deal with that, but Lipski, that is Polish. So, I'm not really sure how she's going to be announced. She's only 24 years old. She's 11-3, got 6 knockouts, a couple submissions, 3 decisions. She's been TKO'd once and has 2 decision losses. Joanne Calderwood, she was 19-2 in kickboxing and made it to #2 in the world. And she's got 5 knockouts and a submission and 6 decisions. She's been submitted twice. Fighting a Brazilian, maybe she gets submitted again. Who knows? You can't really, I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, like, whenever you see a certain race, oh, they're good at one thing. But there is one thing about Brazilians. 95% of them, if they're fighters, they are jiu-jitsu fighters. Or they're just as good at jiu-jitsu as they are whatever else. John Lineker is like one of the only guys I can think of that's not. Alex Oliveira, Jose Aldo, even though he is a first-degree black belt, he doesn't use it. It's very rare. I think I'm going to take Lipski in that one. I'm not sure. That's a pretty tough fight because I don't think I've ever seen her fight before. But I think she'll win. She's pretty young. She's got youth on her side. Donald Cerrone versus Alex Hernandez. Last fight on ESPN. Boy, is this going to be a barn burner, and I'm excited for it. Now, Hernandez was supposed to fight Trinaldo, and then Cerrone's first 4 opponents for this card apparently couldn't make it. Apparently 2 said no, they wouldn't fight him, and 2 just ended up not happening. 2, got hurt, whatever. He's 36 now. He's a decade older than Alex Hernandez. Alex Hernandez is 26 years old. Cerrone is 36. So that's pretty crazy. He's 4 inches taller, too. It says Alex Hernandez is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, but when I was watching his it's like a lead up to this fight, his fight camp, he had 3 different videos. He did Alex Hernandez Road to UFC Brooklyn or something like that on YouTube. Go watch them. They're pretty cool. It looked like he was wearing a brown belt on the mat to me, or a black belt, rather, to me, when he was on the mat. But it still says brown belt, so it's, one of those. He's got a pretty well-rounded skill set, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions, 4 decisions. He can wrestle really well. He can hit really fucking hard. We haven't seen that much of him, though. We've only seen him twice, and one of the fights was only 40 seconds, so it was very unexpected. And boy, are they throwing him to the wolves early. Like, he came to the UFC at 8-1, fought Beneil Dariush on short notice, starches him, and then gets Olivier Aubin-Mercier in his next fight. Dude, you're getting thrown to the wolves. Those are your first 2 fights in the UFC, and now you're fighting Donald Cerrone. This is crazy. Like, he's really getting tossed in there, and we'll see how he performs. He can hit really hard and get his head off the center line like he did against Dariush. That's a punch that starts him. Cerrone doesn't get his head off the center line. Cerrone's probably better everywhere. He's probably got better jiu-jitsu. He's probably got better overall striking. I don't know if he would have better wrestling, but his wrestling is actually elite now. Not if you're considering, guys like Kyle Dake or Henry Cejudo or people like that. When you're talking about mixed martial artists, Cowboy's got elite wrestling. And he just developed that in the last, 4 or 5 years. He's always had it, but it's gotten really, really good in that time. This is a tough one, man. I think I'll take Cerrone, but I wouldn't bet on it. All right, main card on ESPN Plus. It's the first ever main card on ESPN Plus. Let's see. It starts off with Glover Teixeira and Carl Robertson. Now, everybody knows about Glover Teixeira. He's a very, very hard-hitting boxer. He's got some good kicks, really good wrestling, and even better jiu-jitsu. He's got a 2nd-degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's got a 5th-degree black belt in Kajukenbo, which is a pretty well-rounded martial art. 2-time South American Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champ, 1-time gold, 1-time silver. Carl Robertson is 7-1. He's got 2 knockouts, 3 submissions, 2 decisions. He's 5-0 as an amateur. He's 0-3 in kickboxing. However, that doesn't just because he's 0-3 doesn't mean he's not good at it. He made his kickboxing debut against, I don't know what his name is, but he's a legendary kickboxer, and he's very well known and respected and highly touted as one of the best. And he made his debut against him. The guy was 80, 22, 2-1, and he was making his debut against him. He had over 100 kickboxing fights in which he won 80 of, and he made his debut against him. And he actually lost a controversial decision. Like, a lot of people, I didn't see the fight, but I read up a lot about it. A lot of people thought he won that fight, and then he lost 2 more. But see, the thing is, I was thinking, it seems how Glover's on the way out. And he was supposed to fight Ian Kudelaba, and Kudelaba had to pull out, so they had to get somebody else. Carl Robertson comes in, who's usually a middleweight, and I was like, yeah, he's a great kickboxer. He's slick, he's fast, he's crisp. I think he's going to catch Glover on the chin. I think he's going to win. A lot of people aren't going to pick him. Everybody's going to pick against him. This would be a good fight to make some money on, because he's so quick, and Glover's chin, he's been knocked out a couple times. in the UFC, and Carl Robertson is a great, great, great striker. He's very fast, he's pretty powerful too. But then I thought about it, or I looked it up a little bit, and I seen Glover's 6'2", Carl is 6'1". I thought he was 6'2" or 6'3", but he's not. He's 6'1". And Glover's reach is 76 inches, which I had no idea it was that long. I've been watching him since he fought Kyle Kingsbury in his debut, so that's kind of surprising that I didn't know that. But his reach is 76 inches. Carl's is 74. So I really thought he would at least be the same size. So considering that, this is a lot closer of a fight than I initially thought it was. I'm still going to take Carl Robertson, though. But this is a very, very intriguing matchup. Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich is the next fight. Paige hasn't fought in a long time. I think she broke her arm a while ago. Actually, I think that's why she's been out a while. She's been rehabbing that. There's not really much to say about either of these girls. Rachel's 6-1 as an amateur, or 6-0 as an amateur. I'm sorry, and 1-1 on the Ultimate Fighter. Paige is 1-0 as an amateur. I think you should say what their wins and losses are by. Paige has 2 knockouts, 2 submissions, and 3 decision wins, and 2 submission, 2 decision losses. Rachel's losses are by 2 knockouts and 2 submissions, and her wins are by 2 submissions and 2 decisions. No, I think I'll just take Paige. Joseph Benavidez versus Dustin Ortiz. I'm excited for this. Well, Joseph Benavidez versus Dustin Ortiz 2. It's a rematch. Benavidez won a decision over him probably about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, something like that. And it was a good fight. It was in that streak where Benavidez was winning decisions. I think it was this fight right after he fought Tim Elliott, actually. He's a Muay Thai brown belt under Dwayne Ludwig. Dustin Ortiz has looked really good lately. He's won his last 3 fights. That's his longest streak in the UFC, which that doesn't sound very big. Excuse me. That doesn't sound very big or very good. But when you look at the guys he's fought some really, really tough fighters. And he's won his last 3. 2 of them are first-round knockouts, KOs at that, 2 first-round KOs. And his other win was a decision over Alexandre Pantoja. Which, good luck finishing that, dude. Good luck even beating him. He's like 20-3. And world champion himself. He's a very, very elite fighter. Ortiz is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. This is an interesting one. I think Ortiz is a lot better than he was when he fought Benavidez the first time. And I think Benavidez is probably still about the same as he was when he fought him the first time. I want to say Ortiz, but it's hard to pick against Joseph Benavidez because I've been watching him longer than I've been watching about anybody. I think I'll take Dustin Ortiz, though. I picked Joseph Benavidez against Henry Cejudo. I won. I picked Joseph Benavidez against Sergio Pettis. I lost. And I picked Alex Perez to beat Joseph Benavidez in his last fight, and I lost. So, or you know what? Yeah, I think I'll take Ortiz. I don't know. That's a tough one. This is a tough card to pick. So, yeah. Next one. Oh, man, am I excited for this. Gregor Gillespie versus Yancy Medeiros. Oh, boy. Gregor Gillespie is finally getting somebody that's really, really, really good. I mean, Vince Pichel is really good. Jordan Rinaldi is pretty good. But, dude, Yancy Medeiros, everybody knows who he is. He's an exciting striker. He's also got good submissions. This is going to be fun to watch. Gregor's a 4-time Division I All-American, which is really, really fucking hard to do. That means he won a certain amount of matches every single year to become a 4-time All-American. He has the most wins in his school's history, the most wins as a freshman in his school's history, which was 40, I believe. And then the highest win percentage in his school's history, which was .917, which was pretty crazy. I mean, .917 win average. It's unreal. Yancy Medeiros, let's see. He's I'm pretty sure he's a jiu-jitsu purple belt or brown belt, but I didn't find anything of that on there this time. I thought I had, but when I looked before, but not. But he's not quite a few people out. He's got 8 knockouts. He was 2-0 in Strikeforce. They both came into Zuffa when they were 7-0. But I think I'm definitely going to pick Gregor Gillespie for this fight. I don't see him losing for a while, and I'm so happy that he's finally getting someone that's up there like Medeiros is. He's not ranked, I don't believe, but still, or actually I know he's not, but still, it's a good matchup. And Gregor's 31. It's time he starts fighting on these tough top guys. The co-main event, Greg Hardy versus Alan Crowder. I'm just going to take Greg Hardy. I don't know much about Crowder, other than he came off the Contender Series as well. He got knocked out by Justin Willis. All 3 of his losses are knockouts. Greg Hardy's 3-0 as an amateur, 3-0 as a pro. All knockouts, all in the first round. I'm going to take Greg Hardy. And then the main event, Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw. What a fight this is. At 125 pounds. They both made weight today, which is great. Henry Cejudo is going to turn 32 next month on the 9th. TJ will turn 33 next month on the 7th, which is pretty interesting. TJ is 5-1 in UFC title fights with 5 knockout wins. 5-1 with 5 knockout wins and 1 split decision loss. That's pretty crazy. And Henry Cejudo is 1-1 in UFC title fights with a knockout loss, with TKO loss, and decision win. He's also the former WFF champion. Yeah, I get he's 13-2, only finished 5 people ever. That doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter. If you control the round, like, it doesn't look bad to win a decision. And people say, oh, it was a decision, it was boring, or oh, it was a decision, that means he's not as good, he can't finish him. That means you know how to control the fight. You can win by a 3rd-round knockout, be dominated the whole fight, catch him, knock him out, and win. Or you can be dominated the entire, say, 5 rounds, like Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen. And, he got dominated that night, but he still won. If you win a decision, it shows you know how to control the fight. You know how to control the outcome. So I don't see a problem with it. It means if the rounds were to keep going, that you'd probably continue to dominate them and you'd finish them when they got tired. That's my assumption for someone like that, especially. TJ, man, he's a Muay Thai black belt under Dwayne Ludwig. His striking style is just so interesting. Like, he's the Vasyl Lomachenko of MMA. The way he switches stances and strikes while he's switching stances, throws jab, cross, switch stances, cross, head kick, it's unbelievable how good he is at that. He literally fights like Vasyl Lomachenko in MMA. It's so fun to watch. That's why he's my favorite champion to watch, him and Max Holloway. And I like watching Khabib too, because he makes a lot of really hard shit look easy. But TJ and Max, their striking is just on another level. It's levels above the next level. It really seems like it is. Like, this new style TJ has implemented since he's been trained by Dwayne. It's crazy to me. I never would have thought I would see a fighter doing things like that. He's so ambidextrous, so good either way. It's unbelievable. And he started out wrestling as well. Henry is a Olympic gold medalist. He's got like 4 other world gold medals, 1 bronze medal or something like that. TJ Dillashaw is also a really, really good wrestler. Chael Sonnen will go out and say he thinks he's the best MMA wrestler out there. I don't think that's the case. I don't know who the best MMA wrestler is. I should have thought of that before I recorded this video so I could say who I do think it is. But I think TJ is a very, very, very skilled wrestler, but I don't think he's the best MMA wrestler. We'll find out, though. But he was 170 and 33 in high school, and he was a D1 in college. So, it's not easy to be on an NCAA Division I wrestling team. This is going to be a tough one to pick. It's going to be a really tough one because I could see Cejudo out wrestling him. I could see it looking like the Demetrius Johnson fight, the second one. But people are saying, oh, he's not going to out-wrestle TJ. TJ's a wrestler too. It's like, yeah, wrestlers can still out-wrestle wrestlers. That's how they get every win when they're in college. That's how they get every one of their wins. They beat another wrestler. Just because he wrestled too doesn't mean he can't out wrestle him. But TJ's been taken down before, like against Dominic Cruz. I feel like since he's been really, really good at striking, and since he's gotten this style, he hasn't been able to take people down like he used to be able to, honestly. I noticed that probably around the second Barral fight, maybe the Joe Soto fight. I don't think he tried to take him down. I think it was about the second Barral fight. I noticed that. But the thing is, I want to go for Henry Cejudo because I want the UFC to keep the flyweight division. It really, really grinds my gears to even think that they would do away with it. But they've already deleted a lot of their roster. They've already gotten rid of some of their roster. Some of those people can go to other promotions. They all go to the same promotion, whatever. You know, we can watch them on other fight cards, and then we can keep the UFC fight cards. We get more fights that way. You know, whatever. And I really like how TJ fights. I really like watching how new it is, how no one else has done it, how no one else is doing it. I want to see what the limit is for that, if there is one. I want to see him do that for a long time. I don't think he's going to, because he's already almost 33, which really sucks. But I really hope we get to see, like, at least, I don't know, man. Hopefully he wins 10 more in a row that I can see like that, because I love watching his style. And I love watching him, see him make an effective. The only thing I can criticize about it is he gets hit. That's it. But it hasn't affected him yet. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think, and have fun watching the fights tomorrow. I know I will.